Hi, my name's Tony, and I'm a Steelers fan. It's been a while since I posted, and I apologize for that, but I'm back with a recap, and I look forward to the playoffs. I hope you like it. Welcome to Steelers Anonymous. I want to first recap the Browns game. Ben's play, I think, was a whole lot better than his stats. And I think he looked better than most commentators are saying right now. First and foremost, there was a whole lot of wind. I think it mucked around with his accuracy a whole bunch, and I think we will look back on that and think that he played better. He also moved a whole lot better in the second half, despite him saying he's tweaked it. Pardon me. I think he'll be just fine. The other thing I really should we all ought to pat Tomlin on the back for. I think a whole lot more of our starters got a lot more rest than we originally thought. Yes, they all played, but I think they played a whole lot less than we would have given them credit for. We thought going in, and it was good to see them get rest. Bruce Arians and Dick LeBeau and Tomlin deserve hats off for that fantastic job. Way to rest our people. Finally, Polamalu is an animal. That guy's incredible. That play where he was in the backfield and sacked Wallace, just timed the count perfectly, is impressive. I don't know if you've ever listened to Football Today, ESPN podcast, but Ross Tucker says it all the time. He says, I don't know why the defensive backs don't figure out the snap counts more. He says, really, if you're up there on the line, it's pretty obvious what's going to happen when, especially in silent counts. And Troy's just got that down. It's impressive. 2 steps and man's down on the ground. It was just stunning. Way to go, Troy. Finally, I think the bigger injury out of Rashard Mendenhall and Cortez Allen is Cortez Allen. Not to say that we won't miss Mendenhall, we will, but with that said, the bigger injury that we suffered was Cortez Allen. That's going to hurt us, and especially if we make it past this game and get facing people like the Patriots and even the Packers or New Orleans. So let's take a short look and let's look back at the season. First of all, I started this season by saying that I thought the only real problem the team had was the O-line, and I really still think that's the case. You can go back and look on the group there where I met Tim and got me into Your and Steelers country on LinkedIn, and I was saying then that it was the offensive line, and truth was that's what it is, and that's what it was, and it still is. The defense hasn't lost step. They're not old, all that. They're maybe not as good as they were a year or 2 years ago, but they are still still it's the offensive line. We're making progress in the area. I think Pouncey and Gilbert, you think about it, we're adding one quality lineman a year to that offensive line. Love it. Keep it up. If we can get a left tackle that's at least at Gilbert's range, if not better, I think we'll be doing really well, and that line will look better in a few years. Because we're not there yet on the offensive line, we can't run, and that means we can't finish off teams. And it's kind of frustrating that late in the third quarter against a team like the Browns that have a crappy run defense, that we can't just put them away. The next question I got is, why are so many of the guys on the offensive line getting hurt? There's a systematic problem to that, and I think it needs to be addressed. That's conditioning or the line coach or something, strength coaches, but there's some reason that we're always getting hurt there. That's a trend that needs to end. Finally, the receiving core. Well, I got a couple more here, but the receiving core, they're a great bunch of receivers, perhaps the best in the league. I think I would take them almost over anybody. Maybe the Packers tempt me, but man, give it to me here. I love them. The question, though, is Wallace a little bit discouraged? Last play, I don't know if you saw this, but halfway through the game, he started having his head down. He seemed a little distracted, a little frustrated. I hope that's not the case. I hope that's just me imagining it. I found it interesting on that pass that Miller caught that may have been intended for Wallace, that Ben went back to him, I think, on the very next play, and then a couple of plays later to try and say, no, dude, I haven't forgot about you. I'm here. If that's the case, and that's really how it is, I think he did well. And what can I say? Antonio Brown's a stud. Love Jericho Cotchery. Way to go, Hines. We're happy for you. Way to go. That's awesome. And if you're not following Hines on Facebook, you really should. Fantastic post. Great guy. Finally, in the season recap, I want to talk about Bruce Arians. I've been a Bruce Arians apologist. I've always had a lot of confidence in him, and I guess you could say I still do. What I don't have, however, is a confidence in his play calling ability and when to use the run. I don't mind the Steelers' 60% passing, but it frustrates me. It frustrates me a lot that he seems not to know the right time to depend on the run. And that goes back to the offensive line, like I said before, but still, I think it's something that needs to be addressed. Finally, let's look forward to the Broncos game. First of all, the key to this game is obviously Denver's run game. The linebackers are going to mean everything. I think that we're going to do really well with Harrison and Woodley on the two ends, finally. And we're going to do really well, and we're going to tie up the ends, which makes that option read difficult. And I think we're going to contain him. He's still going to break a couple. Let's not be silly about that. But I think we'll contain him just fine. If it were me, my strategy would be that we would put Troy in the box and let him time those snap counts as much as he wants and try to get in the backfield. And I would tell him, Troy, it's your job to hit Tim Tebow on every play if you possibly can. Next, so that'd be my strategy. The offense is going to need at least 14 points to feel comfortable in this game. I think they can do that as long as the weather stays good, and we'll see where it goes. Finally, my prediction. Okay, here we go. Steelers by at least 4, maybe 7. The Steelers don't blow out anybody. They never do. They never make it look pretty or easy, and that's fine. There's no style points, as Tomlin likes to say, and I agree with that. But I think that the Steelers aren't going to win by all that much, but they're going to win. I don't feel like this is going to be a nail-biter. However, this will be more like the Browns game. You're going to know who's going to win, but it won't be that big of a scoring game. So I wish I could join you all in Denver this week. Maybe next year. I'd love it if that happened. And just say, go Steelers, go, and we'll be looking for you. And all the way from out here in Utah, my name is Tony, and I'm a Steelers fan. I'll see you at the next Steelers Anonymous meeting.